Let's start. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So Salesforce Lightning Web Component Day 11. Let's see what are we going to learn today. So we'll quickly go through the previous session and we'll talk about the PubSub. And last class also at the end, we have discussed about the PubSub. So PubSub is nothing but a structure. Basically, we have a publisher and there is a subscriber. So, and these are the two different components where there is a no connection is enabled between these two. These two are individual components. These two are individual components. If I wanted to enable the communication between these two components, that means if publisher want to send a data to the subscriber. So we do not have a concept called component event or application event in LWC. We have a something called, which is nothing but PubSub is available. This default PubSub file is provided by the Salesforce. So what we have to do is we have to insert this PubSub file within the org. Once it is inserted then we have to call this file by importing in the publisher as well as we have to import in the subscriber. Then within the PubSub, we have a different methods to fire a event and register a event. So those methods we have to call it. If it is a fire event should be called from publisher. Register event listener should be calling from the subscriber. So by using those two concepts, we will be able to communicate with that means we will be able to send the data from publisher to the subscriber. Now we have a different methods which are available in the PubSub. So register a communication, unregister a communication, fire a communication, unregister all communication. These are the four methods which are available in PubSub. And last time we have downloaded the file from the Google. So this is the PubSub file. So in the PubSub file we have there is a sample page reference is available, and then we have a register listener where it is expecting the 3 parameters, and unregister a callback for an event. It is also expecting the 3 parameters. Then we have a unregister all listeners. Unregister all listeners will have a 1 parameter. Now, next thing is a fire event. Fire event will have a 3 parameters: page reference, event name, payload. Page reference is the reference of the page that represents the event scope. And then we need to pass the event name. What are the name we have kept it during the firing, while firing the event? That's the same name we have to pass here, and then payload. So payload of the event, whatever it is fired. So total we have 4 methods which are getting implemented within the PubSub. Now, within the PubSub, now use case is I have a publisher. In the publisher, we have a subscriber, and publisher and subscriber both are different component. Subscriber is a one component, one LWC component. Publisher is another LWC component. Now, publisher and a subscriber. In the publisher, what I'll do is I'll add a one text box. I'll add a one input field. And as soon as the user enter here, that means user is entering the data in this input field and clicking on the publish button. As soon as user click on this publish button, what will happen? The data should be sent to the subscriber. It should be sent to the subscriber. How it is going to send the subscriber? Because from the publisher as well as from the subscriber, we will be calling the file which is called as a PubSub file. We will be calling it. So that means I'll be doing the import here. So basically we will be doing the importing the PubSub from whatever the PubSub we have, which is available in this PubSub. Or you can do this, or else in a different way. If you wanted to do it, you can import the all different methods. Like instead of calling the complete file, so what you can do it, you can you can call all the methods like a fire event. Then we have a register event, register listener. Then we have a unregister. Unregister listener. So like this, you can call different methods. Whatever the methods that are available within the PubSub, that means here I have a method which is a register, unregister. So here register, unregister all, unregister all. You can call this method here, right? So you can call this method also. Unregister all, and then like this, you can call it each method from PubSub. Either you can directly give a name call from the PubSub, or else you can differentiate, you can define the methods that are available inside the PubSub, import method names from the PubSub. So either this or this, what are the ways which is possible you can give. Either this you can use it or you can use this one. So mostly in the real time, we use this one. And this can also be used if you have a clarity, you can use this also. So this is the requirement which I'm going to implement. So let's go ahead and implement. Now we have this is the PubSub file which we have downloaded it from the Google. Now the next step is I need to create a publisher component as well as I need to create a subscriber component. Both the components I need to create it. So first I'll create the publisher, Control-Shift-P, create a Lightning Web component. Let's say LWC_publish. Click on done. Now this is the publish. Now in the publish, what I'm going to do is we need to create a one input message and one button. So let me add the lightning card here, lightning hyphen card title equal to, let's say this is a publisher component, publisher component. Within this, I'll be adding the div section, div. Now within this, we'll add the lightning button or a lightning input. Lightning input label is enter message. And then we'll be storing that value into the in the one field. Let's say that I'm storing into the message. On change of it, on change, we'll call a method handle message change. Now let's end this. That's a lightning input. Next we have lightning button. Lightning hyphen button label equal to publish. Let's give it as a variant equal to brand. And then on click of this button, we'll call a function handle publish. Then we'll end up here. Now this is my HTML. Now what is the things that we need to create in JavaScript? One is a message and two are functions. So let's take this message. Let's go back to the JavaScript. Here, one is a message. Let's say that initially it is empty. And then I need to create a handle message changes event. And then we have a on click of the button. I'm calling the another method. Event. Now, here in this scenario, handle publish. On the handle publish, I'll not take the event. Let's keep it as it is, simple. Now, what we are doing is we are creating the two components from the publisher. From the publisher component, I have to send a message. If I have to send a message, I need to import this PubSub. I need to import this PubSub, right? Now, whenever I import a PubSub, that means in the PubSub, I have a fire event. I have a method called fire event. Now I'll be using this fire event in order to fire the event. And this fire event is expecting the page reference, event name, and then payload, right? Page reference. Now page reference, how can I get it? Page reference is we have at the starting, which is a page reference. Now by default, you can get the page reference here. Now first import the page reference. How can we import it? Import. Let's say here, you can take any name, current page reference. So take current page reference, and then from, it's a lightning page. So lightning navigation, lightning slash navigation, lightning slash navigation. So what I'm doing here, I have taken this current page reference, and from the lightning navigation, I'm taking the current page reference. So what I can do is this, I'll be converting as a page reference. That means I'll be using here @wire. So what are the current page reference that I'm getting it? So let's copy this value. What are the current page reference value that I'm getting it? I'll simply convert that into the page reference. First, I have taken the page reference. So page reference, we can get it from the lightning navigation. From that navigation, it is a kind of a default page reference. Now I got the page reference. Now next thing is that I need to import this PubSub. So in order to import the PubSub, I'll say here import. I'll use some name here, PubSub from where we are getting it. C, this is within the org. So C/, so we have a PubSub. PubSub is the file which is available within our org. Now I have imported here. Now, once the import is done, now handle message changes. When it is calling handle message changes on the changes, whenever I'm changing the value, I wanted to get the value. So in order to get the value, I'll be using the event.target.value. Whatever the user has entered, that I'm capturing, I'm getting the data, and then that data I'll store it into the message. Now, whenever the user enter the data here, I'm capturing the data here, and then I'll click on a button. As soon as I click on a button, I need to fire the event or publish the event. That means here I need to fire the event, or publish event. Now, in this case, I can directly use this PubSub. Then, in the PubSub, what is the method that I have in order to fire it? We have a method in the PubSub which is available, fire event. right? So this is the array event. So I'm going to use that dot array event. Now here, within the array event, I need to pass the 3 parameters. It is expecting the 3 parameters. Page reference, event name, payload. Now page reference is that I'm getting it from the current page reference. So I can take here page reference, which is, let's say, this dot page reference. And then the second parameter is event name. Second parameter is event name. So which has to be in the string. So let's say here I'm sending the message. Send message and comma. Then I need to send the payload. The third parameter is payload. I need to send it. Payload is available in the this dot message. This dot message, the payload is available. The payload is available in message. Now this is the publish. This is the publish. Now let's click on a save here. Now let's deploy this. Deploy this source to org. Now it's done. Now the next thing is that we are going to create a subscribe. Whatever the subscriber is there. The next component is a subscriber component. Next component is subscriber component. Now Control Shift P. Create a Lightning Web component. Let's say that LWC underscore subscriber. Hit enter. Now, subscriber is just listening it. It is just listening it. It is not doing anything. What are the messages entered here? It's just listening it. That means what are the messages there? I need to display that message here. So in the HTML, I just need to display the message. I just need to display the message. So lightning hyphen card. So let's say title equal to subscriber component. Subscriber component. Now within the subscriber component, let me add div here. Now I'll say here some header. Now within this header, display the publisher message. Publisher message. Now, how can I display it? I need to store that whatever we are receiving it, we need to store the data into the value, a variable. I need to store the data into the variable. That variable, I'll be displaying it here. So what I'll do is I can take the lightning output, or I can take the lightning output, or let's say that I can take the formatted text. I can take the formatted text, or let's take it as a formatted rich text. Then value equal to, I'm just displaying the data here. So whatever I'm receiving it from the publisher, the data is displayed here. Now that's it. This is a subscriber. Then let's go to the JavaScript. In the JavaScript also, the first thing is that I need to import PubSub from the C/PubSub. Then in the subscriber also, we have to add this page reference. If you do not add this page reference, it will be failed. It will be failed. So you need to add the page reference also. So basically this is to get the current page references. So in order to get the current page references, So what we are doing is we are using the wire function here, wire, and then we'll take this value, what are the page reference I'm getting it, current navigation page, that I'll be storing it as a page ref. So get the current page references. And then what we are doing is wire it with imported variable. What is the imported variable here? Page ref is the imported variable. Page ref is the imported variable. Now the data that I'm displaying from this variable, so this is the variable, I need it. So initially it will be empty. Now, I do not have anything on the HTML. Whatever the publisher is sending it, I'm just displaying the data. That means there is no method in the HTML. There is no method in the HTML. As soon as the subscriber is called, I wanted to execute the register event listener. Register listener. That means on load of the subscriber itself, I wanted to register the listener. Now, how can I do it? We have a hook is called connected callback. So connected callback is, it gets executed whenever the component is loaded. Now here what I'll do is I'll use the PubSub dot, we have a method called register listener. So register listener is expecting a 3 parameters here, event name and then callback. That means once this is called, what should happen on this callback, right? And what is the org? So let's see here, PubSub register event. Now what is the event name? The first one is the event name. Whenever we are firing the event, that time whatever the event name is there, we have to use the same name. And then callback function. That means as soon as this component is heard, I wanted to perform certain action. Now in that case, let's call the another method here. And what I'll do is, that means I need to perform some, as soon as this event is called, we have to capture the data, whatever the data that is passed by the publisher, we need to capture it and we need to store it into the message. That logic, we will write it into the different function. And that function, I'll call it from here, handle incoming message. And I'll just say here, this is the R. Now handle incoming message is another method. And here, what are the data that is coming? I can capture that data. Now, whatever this message is there, this dot message equal to, I'll be passing this data. Now that's it. Now let's click on a deploy this source to R. Okay, we have a publisher. We are entering the data and clicking on the publish. On clicking on the publish, we are sending the data. And let's add this one is exposed equal to true. And let's copy the data here, copy. Because I'm going to place it into the record level. So this is a JavaScript. Also XML, I'm updating it. Now let me push again the publisher. Also subscriber, also I'll push it. Now let's go back to the HTML. Salesforce. Now on the account page, let's click on his edit page. Now I'll drag the publisher as well as a subscriber on the account record page. So we have a publish and then we have a subscriber. Now let's click on a save. Now let's go back. So let me add some space. It is coming as a corner in the HTML. Now here I'll add some space. Class equal to SLDS. Hyphen around medium. So let's save this. And let's add it for the input also. Class equal to SLDS hyphen M around large. Let's click on save and deploy the source to org. Okay, perfect. Now let's go and see whether it is updated or not. Click on refresh. Okay, did not update. Inspect, refresh, empty cache and hard reload. Okay, so now it is displaying here. Subscriber. Okay, that's fine. So here, in case if I enter some data here, hi, this is from publisher component. Publisher component. Now click on it. See here, the text is coming. Now let me add something in order to display the text. Subscribers, the formatted text, I'll add it in the paragraph. And let me add it as a bold. Deploy this Salesforce to org. So let me refresh. Welcome to PubSub. Click on, see here, the data is coming. So what is happening here? So we have one publisher. We have one publisher. We have a publisher here. This is a publisher. Now publisher can send the message to the subscriber. We have it is possible that there is a multiple subscribers. You might have a multiple subscribers. Now, these are the subscribers. So it is possible that there is a multiple subscribers are there. So this is a subscriber 1 and this is a subscriber 2 and this is a subscriber 3 and this is a subscriber 4. Like this, multiple subscribers are there. Multiple subscribers are there. And in between this, we have a thin line which is called as a PubSub, which is PubSub. Which is called as a PubSub. This is a PubSub file. PubSub file. Now, whenever the publisher want to send a message, so what it has to do, it has to basically send a message to the PubSub file. It has to send a message to the PubSub file. Now, PubSub file, how it will send? By specifying the event name. So whenever it is sending the information to the PubSub file, there are 3 parameters. One is the event name. Whatever the event name is there, it will send the event name. And then page reference. What are the page references there? That means what is the current page reference? And then what is the message that we are sending it? What is the message that we are sending it? So these 3 information will be sent it to PubSub. Now PubSub is going to look for who is the person that is calling. That means who is the person that is imported. That means initially there will be a subscribers will be already inserted within the PubSub. That means these subscribers are calling these many PubSub. For example, subscriber 3, subscriber 4, and subscriber 1 to also importing this PubSub. Now this particular event name, who is actually having it? So what are the event name I'm passing it? So it is going to cross verify out of these 4, event name is this event name is matching with this or matching with this or matching with this or matching with this. If all 4 it is matching, then what PubSub file does is it will send an email, send a message to this component. And what are the components are there? It will send a message to these components. That means as soon as the component hears, as soon as the subscriber component hears here there is some event which is fired. As soon as it is here, then it is going to load the component. On loading the component, what we are doing is we are doing the connected callback. In the connected callback, we are doing the register event, register listener. What are the register listener method is there? We are doing it. So as soon as it loaded, so it heard from the PubSub file, it heard there is a event is fired. As soon as it is heard, and it is going to load the component. So as soon as it is loaded the component, the connected callback is going to call. And in the connected callback, what we are doing is we are firing the register listener. Whenever the register listener is firing it, there are 3 parameters which are expected. The parameters are event name and what should happen on the event call. That means, do we need to pass this message to the subscriber or what should needs to be happen? Is there any method that I need to execute? Any method that I need to execute it? And then what are the arg? Org is nothing but entire data you can pass it. Entire data where can you see here this will hold entire information. So these are the three parameters which are expected in the register listener. Now once that is done, now that's all we are done. In case if you wanted to add a disconnected callback, that means as soon as this is done, then you wanted to close this component. You wanted to close this component. So far what we have done is in the Lightning page, we have added the publisher one component, subscriber one component. So there is no close button. In case if you have not added here, you have some close button on the subscriber. So what you can do is you can add in the subscriber. There is something called disconnected callback. Disconnected callback. In this disconnected callback, what you can do is we have in the PubSub, there is something called unregister. Unregister listener, all listener. Unregister all listener. So this is the one. Unregister all listener. There is no parameter. It has only one thing which is called as a arg that I can pass it as a this. Now here, this is the method and here pass it this. That's it. And this is to unsubscribe it. Basically, whenever you close it, I wanted to unsubscribe the connection between the two components. Unsubscribe from the whatever the message is sent. That means whatever the event is there. The event is here. The event is send message. Event is send message event. So as soon as we click on a cross button, I wanted to unsubscribe that particular component from the event. That means disconnect the component from the event. Disconnect the component from the event. So this is how we use it. PubSub. PubSub is similar to the application. PubSub is similar to the application where there is no connection, but you can pass the details. You can pass the details to the, like any component can talk to any other component. It does not require any connection between the two components, right? Whenever you want to communicate between the one LWC to any other LWC, then simply you can implement the PubSub. PubSub file is provided by them. Only what we have to do is we have to import the PubSub and we have to import the current page reference from the Lightning navigation. Clear? Any questions?
Swapna, I'm having one.
Yes.
If I'm having two publishers, if I'm having two publish, so how can I differentiate? I mean, like in page reference also, I took the same name. I took current page reference in some other publish also, but subscribers are different. So in that case, how can I differentiate the things?
Based on the event name. If you have a multiple subscriber, if you have a multiple publisher, in case this is the event name is S1 and the another one is A1. So based on this different event, in this, two subscribers are calling the S1 and another one was calling the A1.
Swapna, could you please show me the subscribe method one?
Subscribe method.
How
So
you
there
are
is nothing called as a subscribe method. It's a
class.
sorry.
Just I wanted to see how you are getting the message because I missed it there. The connectivity. So
Okay, so in the publisher, I'm firing the event. Whatever the message is entered by the user, I'm capturing here on change. On click of the button, I'm passing the message and this is the event name.
Okay.
In the subscriber, what I'm doing is on connected callback at the same event name I'm specifying here. Whenever this is called, what needs to be done is decided in this method and this method I'm calling here. And the last one is the arg. That means the entire data, this.
Yeah. Thanks for this.
Yes. Okay, so let's.
So one more thing, unregistering the event, I have to do from the subscriber only.
Yes, because the publisher, you will not be disconnecting it, right? Only the subscriber you will be disconnecting it. Now, so right now within the LWC, how to communicate, we could able to do it using the PubSub file. But let's assume that I wanted to communicate. If I want to communicate between the LWC to Aura or between LWC to Visualforce, how will we do that? So if I wanted to communicate between the LWC to Lightning Aura or LWC to LWC to Visualforce, now how we will do it? So whenever, if you want to communicate, if you want to communicate with the Visualforce, whenever we wanted to communicate with the Visualforce, we cannot do same as a Lightning Aura. LWC has a different concept. LWC has different concept. The concept itself is called as a lightning message service. Lightning messaging service. So lightning messaging service is basically, this is used to communicate between the components with a single lightning page or across the multiple pages. You can use within the LWC component, you can use LWC, Visualforce, Aura. You can use multiple different frameworks also. You can use using the multiple frameworks. That means using the lightning message, you can communicate with the different frameworks. Now, LMS allows you to communicate between the Visualforce and lightning component. That means you can communicate the LWC from the Visualforce. You can send the message and LWC can receive the messages, whatever you are sending it. Similarly, LWC can send the message, Visualforce can listen it, which is possible using the lightning messaging service. So this is called as a API. LMS API allows you to publish the message through the lightning experience, as well as subscribe the message anywhere in the lightning page. Could be in the Aura, could be in the Visualforce. So you can do that. And this is introduced in winter 20. This is introduced in winter 20, but actually it came into the market, or it came into the implementation in summer 20. In summer 20, this was started implementing the lightning messaging service. We started implementing it. So here, for example, now this is the lightning messaging service. Now, when to use the lightning messaging services? In lightning experience, if you want a Visualforce page or Aura component to communicate with the lightning web component, then we have to implement the custom publish subscribe solution. Because right now, whatever we have seen the PubSub, this PubSub is within the LWC component, within the LWC framework. If you want to talk to one LWC to another LWC, you can implement it. But if your framework, if the LWC framework wants to talk to the Visualforce framework or wants to talk to the Aura framework, then PubSub will not work. PubSub will not work. We need to customize the PubSub. That means we need to implement our own custom PubSub, our own custom publish subscriber solution. Now, because of this is currently, now we cannot use the default PubSub, whatever is available, we have to use the custom one. Now, for example, I have a Visualforce page, and if I wanted to communicate with LWC, I can communicate with LWC. So from the Visualforce, I wanted to send it to Aura, but through the LWC, I wanted to send. That means Visualforce is sending the data to the LWC, and LWC is sending the data to the Aura. Once Aura is received the information, Aura is responding back to the Visualforce page. Which are the combination you want, you can discuss. Either Visualforce to LWC, LWC to Visualforce, or Aura to LWC, or LWC to Aura. You can discuss. You can use the custom publisher subscriber. By using that, you can subscribe it, you can publish it between the two different frameworks. Now, in order to implement the Lightning messaging service, we have three steps. One is we need to create a custom publish subscribe a file. We need to create a file. So the file is message channel. The file is message channel. That means we need to create a file. Manually, we have to create a file. Like a PubSub file, how we created. We have just created Lightning LWC, right? Create a LWC component. Then here JavaScript, I have pasted the data, right? I have pasted the JavaScript data. There is no HTML in the PubSub. Similarly, here, create a message channel. Create a message channel. You have to create this channel. You have to create this channel. Now, whenever you are creating this channel, you have to make sure that it has to be suffix the message channel hyphen. That means or a dash. Now, let me show you that. Now, you have to create a separate file. That means you cannot choose like a create a Control-Shift-P. So initially what we have done is Control-Shift-P, create a Lightning Web component. No, we will not be creating the message channel, not like this. It has to be a different way of creating the message channel. So whenever we create a message channel, it has to be file name dot message channel hyphen meta. So that's what I'm mentioning in the first line. So you have to use the file name dot message channel hyphen meta dot xml. So this message channel hyphen meta dot xml is a standard. Before that, you can use any file name. So whatever the file name you wanted to use, up to you. You can use any custom name, that should be fine. But this should not change. Dot, it has to be smaller letter message and then capital C channel hyphen meta dot xml. This should not be changed. You have to always keep the same thing. You need to always keep the same thing. Now, while creating the message channel, certain data we will be inserting it. That means whenever I create a file. So first I'll be creating the message file. Now let's take an example here. Now first I'll be creating the message channel. This is the message channel file. Message channel file. This is message channel file. Now, message channel file is similar to the kind of a package.xml. Like when you go to the package.xml, let's go and see the package.xml. Now here we have a package.xml. In the package.xml, now if you observe that it is starting with question mark. It is starting with less than question mark XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8. So this is the same line we will be using in the message channel, right? So if you observe the package.xml, it is starting with the XML and you have a package, so, right? Within the package, you have a different types. That means what is the data that you wanted to get? That means you wanted to push it or pull it, whatever you wanted to do, you can do it using the package.xml. That means what are the file that needs to be considered? What is the component that needs to be considered? So type is nothing but what are the component that we need to consider while pushing the data from org to the visual Studio or from the Visual Studio to the org. If I wanted to push the data, what are the component that needs to be pushed, right? So here we have is types. So within the type, we have a members. Members is a star. That means all the components. Name is going to tell which name. Now I wanted to here, it says that Apex classes. I wanted to pull all the Apex classes. Apex triggers. I wanted to pull the Apex triggers. Lightning Aura bundle. I wanted to pull the Lightning Aura bundle. Then static resource. Right, like this, we have a certain component list. I have it. What are the components list that I can pull it or push it to the Salesforce org. Then finally, we have a version 56. What are the latest version is there? That version name will be decided here, defined here. So this should be always the latest version. So right now we have a latest version is 56. 56. So this is the package.xml. Similarly, whenever we are creating the message channel, whenever we are creating the message channel, it is always starts with less than question mark. It starts with XML version. You will be defining the version here 1.0 and then encoding. Encoding equal to UTF -8. So this is what we will be deciding it. This is what initially this is the logic we will be writing it. Once this logic is written, then we will be starting with lightning message channel. Lightning message channel. Lightning message channel. This is the starting of it, and we have an ending of lightning message channel. Lightning message channel. Now within the message channel, the first thing is that you will be specifying here what is the message channel name. What is the message channel name? What is the message channel name? And then second one is what are the fields that you wanted to include? What are the fields that you wanted to include? What are the fields that you wanted to include? That means what is the data you are sending it from the publisher to the any other person? What is the data you are sending it? For example, I'm sending the mobile details, or I'm sending some message. I'm sending a message. Mobile details. I'm sending a mobile details, right? Or mobile number, or I'm sending some message, right? So anything that whatever the fields that you are sending it, those fields has to be decided. Those fields has to be decided and defined here. Defined here. Now this lightning message channel will contain the message channel name and what are the fields we are supposed to send it or receive it, whatever the fields that overall in this entire flow, what are the fields that are involved here, right? Those are the data which we will be sending, which we will be deciding it here. And along with the message channel file, we will also be declaring the package.xml. Along with the message channel, we'll have a separate package.xml only for this lightning messaging. Only for lightning messaging channel. Only for LMC, we have a separately package.xml. Package.xml. We have separate package.xml. In this package.xml, it is same as the whatever the one which we have seen right now. Like it always starts with XML. It always starts with XML. And yeah, it always starts with the XML. And then it starts with the package. Package. And there is an end package will be available. And then within this, we'll have a type. We'll have a type. Closing the type here. Within the type, I'll be mentioning here members. Members should be what are the members here. So usually it is star. Now closing the members. closing the members. Then below, what is the name of the component? So here name of the component is Lightning Message Channel. Lightning Message Channel. This is the name of the component. This is the name of the component. Right, and then finally, we will be ending the type here. Once the type is end, then I can mention the version. So version is, we have a 56. Current version is 56.0. And let's end the version here. No, these two files we will be creating within one folder. These two files we will be creating within one folder. Right, so this is a one folder. Within the folder, we will be creating the message channel file, and then we will creating the package.xml. Package.xml. Now this is done. Once it is done, the next step is we will be publishing a message on the channel. That means I need a component, I need a framework to publish a message. I need a framework to publish a message. So in order to publish a message, so what I'll be doing is I'll be creating a visual force. I'll be creating a visual force here. Visual force. So in this visual force, we have a three buttons. Assume that those buttons are, one is a publish, one is publish, and the second one is subscribe. Second one is subscribe, and third one is a unsubscribe. There are three buttons are available. These are the three buttons. These are three buttons which are available on the visual force. This is one button, and this is another button, subscribe, and this is unsubscribe button. Unsubscribe button. Now, whenever the publish is clicked, or a subscribe is clicked, or unsubscribe is clicked, then entire data we will be showing here in one framework. In one frame, we are showing the data. Now, what will happen when we click on a publish? So whenever we click on a publish, basically I need to publish the data. That means in the visual force page, I'll be implementing a function. Within the script, I'll be implementing a function. When I click on a publish button, what is the logic that needs to be executed? So that means methods or a function, I'll be writing it. Within the script, we'll be writing a one function for a publish, another function for a subscribe, another function for a unsubscribe. So when I click on a publish, what is the data needs to be sent? Right? So when I'm sending the data, what I need to consider, what are the fields I'm sending it, right? If I'm sending the data here, account name equal to test, account phone number equal to some number, and then account fax equal to some number, right? So these are the numbers. Now these three data I'm sending it. If you are sending these three data, these three fields need to be declared in the message channel. These three fields needs to be declared in the message channel. Now if you are sending the data, some data you are sending it message to send, right? You are sending some message, and you are sending the some source details, and then you are sending the mobile details. Then what you have to do, these three fields, whatever these three fields are there, these three fields you need to define in the message channel. So while publishing it, you can pass these fields, data in these fields, right? And when you are doing the subscribe, when you are doing the subscribe, that means whoever is sending the data, this is subscribing it. So whenever it is subscribing the data, it has to display the data in this ID, in this frame. So this frame will have some ID name. Let's assume that this ID equal to some name is there, right? So what else I'm subscribing it? The data has to be displayed here. The data has to be displayed here. Unsubscribe means completely remove this. Unsubscribe means completely remove it. Now this is the Visualforce side. Similarly, once the Visualforce is done, then what I'll be doing is I'll be implementing the LWC component. I'll be implementing the LWC component. So this is LWC component. LWC component. In LWC component also, in JavaScript, I'll be importing this message channel. I'll be importing this message channel, whatever the things are there, I will be importing all the data. Right. So once it is import is done, then what I can do is I can also define here 3 buttons in the LWC. In LWC also I can use 3 buttons, and also I can display a framework here in order to display the data. So whenever I'm doing the publish, that means when I'm doing the publish, what is the data that I'm sending it? When I'm doing the subscribe, in the subscribe, what is the data needs to be displayed in this framework, right? And when I'm doing the unsubscribe, how can I unsubscribe? When I'm publishing it, now as soon as it is published, now who will be receiving it? The Visualforce will be receiving it and should display here. Whenever the Visualforce is published, and then LWC should be listening it, and it should be displaying the data here. It should be displaying the data here. So both the ways we will see that. So for this, at least we need 1 hour of time. So we do not have that much time. So we will do it tomorrow. At least 1 hour is required for this. So once the publish message on the channel is done, then we will subscribe and unsubscribe from the message channel. Subscribe and unsubscribe from the message channel. That means any component can go ahead and subscribe as well as unsubscribe from the research channel. So that's all for today.